Welcome back, everyone, to September's edition of Valorant Game Changers Academy. I'm Zach, and with me here today is Tala, and we've been covering um, this round of 16 game between Team Solaire and Skill Issue. Here, we just got off Icebox, where an icy cold performance from Solaire netted them the map 13-9. But heading into Breeze, what do you think about this particular map and its implications for Solaire here, episodes?
I definitely think Breeze is one of those maps where it's kind of more of a quote unquote solved map. So there's only really one or two team comps that teams like to play. You usually have that KO who is the go-to controller. You can have either a Sky or a Sova as that secondary. And then you have the Jet, Chamber, and Viper, of course, because I think any other controller on Breeze is a little bit of a troll unless you are you playing that Viper on top of a different controller, like maybe an Astra and an Omen, just to make it a little bit more oppressive. But generally, you just have the double initiator, single controller, and then Sentinel and Duelist composition.
Definitely agree with you there, unless of course you're Paper Rex. I think that in one of the VCT APAC games, they did end up pulling. Let me get this right: a triple duelist, KO, and a Brimstone. I'm not even trolling, and they won 13-4 or something. And this was in, yeah. Anyway, that map actually did happen. But apart from that, I think that you are right. We're gonna be seeing a little bit more of a conventional comp coming in, and looking at Solaire on Breeze. You're exactly right. They do like to go in for that kind of a pick, though they like to vary it around. This is a map where they have been seen using that Cypher as opposed to that Chamber. They also do like to switch around their initiators. Sometimes they go in for that Sova and the KO. Sometimes they go in for a Sky instead. But I think that one initiator that we'll definitely be seeing on this particular map is Sova, because of the versatility that his kit brings. And you just really need that drone as well as that recon to clear out that backside of A, as well as find information towards B. I think that it's an agent that you just can't do without on this particular map.
I definitely think Sova, since having more range than Fade, who is kind of like a little sister Sky hybrid to Sova. So I mean, you have that Sova who basically has unlimited range when you have a full charge on the recon bolt, and the Owl drone does have a little bit less range than I would say maybe even a Sky's Trailblazer, who can clear out more corners but sees a little bit less. But because Breeze is such an open map, you can just have Sova's drone fly all the way up and just kind of look down and around and have that bird's eye view, which is really nice for a map like Breeze. And I think that mid control is definitely going to be a very important factor of this. So having the Viper being able to cut off so many angles is going to be really nice. But as for predictions, you think Solaire wins this one out on their own map pick, or are we going to a map 3?
I mean, looking at how close the game was on Icebox, I think there definitely is the possibility of a map 3. But Solaire, they had the option to choose arguably their best map, Bind, or even Ascent. Ascent was banned out. So yeah, they had the option to go in for Bind, but instead they went in for this Breeze pick, which means that they're going in with a battle plan. And well, I don't want to face off against Solaire with a battle plan, that's for sure. So I think that there is a possibility that we might be seeing a 2-0 as well. It could honestly go either way, because I don't want to say that Skill Issue don't have what it takes to close out this map. It's just that Solaire, I feel like they have something up their sleeve, and we're going to be seeing what exactly it is, because we are going to be heading into Agent Select right now. So let's see what these teams have in store for us on Breeze today.
Already a lot of lock-ins. Hyper is going to go for that Neon, and definitely I think not as much of an edge pick on Breeze rather than on Icebox. And it's actually worth mentioning that we talked about the little bit of a rotating door with Solaire's players. Hypers, they're actually one of the newer players on Solaire, and I think they might be bringing to the table that Neon one trick that you kind of see sometimes, and Hypers might be able to just bring that kind of fast pacing, especially to the attack. I think Neon with the fast lane can be a little bit more effective at times than Jet's Cloudburst, and on the other side, instead of the KO, we're going to use Sky as that flash initiator for Skill Issue. But starting on the attack, let's see where this takes us. Both Taro and Alpine sticking to the patented chambers.
I think that Chamber, I think both Taro as well as Alpine have proved their respective potentials on Icebox. I think both of them were the MVPs respectively for their teams. So that is a phenomenal performance coming in from them. And this time around, I think we're going to be seeing a head-to-head yet again. But Solaire, this time around, they're going to be starting off on attack on this particular map, and their win percentage on attack is significantly higher than on defense. So they are looking to probably build up an early lead. But like you mentioned, this is they do have a rotating door of players, so they are fielding new faces as well. So perhaps these old stats might not tell the true story for Solaire heading into this particular matchup. As for skill issue, I like that they've gone in for the Sky here. It does give them a little bit more versatility, a little bit more information combined with that Sova. Why seeing that they are on defense, it's going to be incredibly useful. Sango as well going to be taking up that jet, eventually possibly pulling up that operator as well. Same composition almost as the last map, in fact, for skill issue. Starting off things though, it's going to be Zoe with the drone, finding the players from Solaire. Alpine going in for the peek, but not going to be able to get the pick. Instead, gets shot down by Leah with a clean headshot right off the back of that Solaire. They do find the person advantage, and they are going to be advancing onto this B side, which has been left open for the retake here.
And it's a 4v5 on the retake. Hypers, I'm not sure what was hit there, but now all funneling in through the arches. They have to fight for that back castle control, and there's not actually any players that are coming in on the flank either, so they're not going to be able to clear out main. But Hypers going huge with the Ghost, finding 2 in a row, and Leah's just going to pick up that last one. This round going, I think the credit is going to have to go to Leah and Hypers for picking up both respectively their 2 and 3, and now Solaire are able to get that early round advantage and pick up a bonus as well.
Yeah, Leah being able to take down Alpine there was so huge, because that chamber, if the chamber had been able to get a kill and rendezvous out there would have been no trade potential, but Leah was ready for it, was watching the angle, and was able to get that kill. In fact, going to have that ultimate more than half charged up, and it's only been one round. The Null Command will possibly be ready to go by the time of this bonus. It is going to be a gamble stack coming in from Skill Issue towards this A side, but they have chosen wrong. B is going to be where the exec is coming in from Solaire, and yet again, they are going to be having this site completely for free. They'll have plenty of time to get themselves into post-plan positioning as well before the rotation comes through. In fact, Solaire, they're going to be taking it a step further into the defender spawn. Leah finding the first pick, does get traded out though. It is going to be the damage being done economically, with 2 players being taken down already. It's all down to just the Sky here. Not much in the name of HP really left on them. 6 HP does pick up the Bulldog, so at this point it's more about how much economic damage can really be done by PG here. Perhaps they can get one more. That might be huge heading into this particular round.
Ooh. I mean, VP, all that they had was that Ghost, so being able to pick up the Bulldog means that they're able to save a little bit more economy for the rest of the team, and you actually have some of them upgrading, and very courageously upgrading to the Vandals. I mean, Taro actually going to pick the Bulldog back up, but Chai, on the other hand, they're going to go for the Vandal half shields while still having enough to buy into the next round. So this is still a very powerful buy, but if we're going to talk about power, we have to talk about that operator in the hands of Alpine, playing on that right pyramid with the help of the rendezvous. This is a huge threat, but since they're funneling in a little bit closer through shop rather than cave, and Hypers already run up through the halls and using the fast lane to get further in, this is so nicely done from Solaire. Even though there are some trades back from Zoe, still on a bonus, they've narrowed it down to a 3v2, and they're able to get a lot of guns out of the hands as well.
Spike does go down, and it's going to be a 2v2 retake. Leah does have that upgrade, but nevertheless gets taken down by Zoe. It's all up to just Taro here. 42 HP left on them, and they're going to have to clutch out this 1v2. I don't think the rendezvous setup is ready either,
oh, no.
But the swing is perfect. Taro is able to connect that pristine headshot onto Zoe, and even with the Spectre, gets the kill. It's all up to just Jenna here to close it out. Already having 1 to their name, will be able to get the second as well, and this bonus does not convert for Solaire, but I don't think they're going to be very displeased with themselves considering that they managed to get 4 rifles as out of the hands of these players from skill issue. At least the operator is going to be retrieved, but aside from that, there's not really much else that's going in their favor. Looking at how many guns were dropped, the economy not really in a great spot. Looking at the buys coming in right now, there you can see the players struggling to see what exactly they're going to be picking up for this particular round.
Ooh, and I mean, Solaire, they made that so close. So right now we're looking at some half shields, even a Guardian for Sango. 2 Guardians actually on the side of skill issue, and they're looking for a fast mid take. I think the play through halls before made it so incredibly oppressive because Hypers was able to get into such good position, but Sango, they're not expecting them to be camping a corner, and now it's a free 2 guns down on the floor by mid doors. Still going to try and push up with the help of the toxic screen from Viper though. Alpine ringing out with the op, and Chai going to go down. Now with the help of the Viper, without that Viper, they're going to be able to having some trouble, but BP, nice peek onto the op. Alpine goes down, and they've narrowed it to a 2v3. They need to pick up that spike, though, and it is a pretty precarious position by the right pyramid. Pretty open as well, but maybe Taro, BP, they have what it takes here. Now Habibi walking up to orange. This is so bad timing for Habibi.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. A 1v2 right now for Taro to close out. The drone is going to spot them even as Peiji connects the headshot. And that is going to be round number 2 coming back in favor of Skill Issue. They will be able to retrieve that operator as well. So that is going to be a plus heading into this particular round. Despite the loss, though, it seems like Solaire, they're deciding whether they want to force up or not. Finally deciding not to. They do have 2 pivotal ults to work with, both that overdrive from Hypers as well as Taro's tour de force are going to be available for this particular round, and if they can get Chai in orb or a kill, it is going to be the Vipers, but they can choose to invest as well if they want to try and convert this half by heading into this particular one. It's not going to be easy, but it's still doable. Right off the bat, Taro is going to be playing towards mid. Peeking out will be forced off the angle, unfortunately, by a flash. So that is going to be Sango granted mid control for free. However, though, this B side is yet again vulnerable. It is going to be Hypers making their way towards the backside already somehow and popping that ult as well to make things worse. This is looking very dangerous right now. Chai going down is going to make things even more difficult because, Chai going down is going to make things difficult. But in the meantime, on the site, it is going to be Taro as well as Hypers slaying out. Habiti does a lot of damage to Peiji, but it might not be enough here. 2 players left right now for Skill Issue, and the Overdrive and Tour de Force are still going strong. Hypers with 3 on the round already before finally being shut down. It is going to be Sango in this 1v2 having to try and clutch it out against both the Tour de Force as well as a rifle, which Lee has managed to pick up. The crossfire is immaculate, and there's no time left on the clock either. This looks like it's going to be a Thrifty being converted for Solaire, and what a round it was from Hypers in particular.
Yeah, Hypers with the overdrive definitely made a lot of impact. And typically when you think of those eco round ultimates, you don't really think of Neon's overdrive because I feel like it can be a little bit harder to control than maybe a Blade Storm, especially the Tour de Force, which I find to be one of the simpler to use ultimates that gets a lot of value. And now Hypers, though, they adjusted Neon's overdrive a little bit so that the headshot will give a little bit more of a reward to be more precise, and Hypers definitely reaped what they sowed. You know, past tense.
I know, we know. It's okay, we're here to cast Valor and not give people an English lesson, so you're perfectly fine there. It is going to be the flank coming in. Habiti able to capitalize and get that first pick, though the trade is quick from Jenna with that Marshall. I don't know if Habiti is going to pick the second player, though the classic not quite connecting, unfortunately, for Paiji. Sango, though, with the Blaze Storm, able to take down Chai. That's going to take the Viper's pit online, and suddenly this round looks so much more doable right now. Sango, again, in this position of having to close out the 1v2, but at least the timer is on their side more and more. Going forward with the Blaze Storm, getting the position of one of the players. No one will just put down a smoke and try to stick it right now. The spray not quite connecting from the Sova. Has one more smoke available, but instead goes for the fight. And Hyper Z is going to close it out. Solaire in these last few rounds, it's like a repeat of Icebox. They're just being given access to the site for free, more or less, with just one neon wall being committed there.
I think the fast lane is a really, really oppressive tool if you also have that Viper, because you don't have to commit it early and you can instead get into a better position, play for a little bit more of an aggressive wall rather than having to use it to block off all those angles at once. Instead, you use your neon to help you get onto the site as a pseudo controller. But now it's looking a little bit more of a default play. They're really slowing it down a little bit, or investing the null command to sell a very convincing fake, but Taro is able to take down Alpine. Look at where the spike is, Zach. It's all the way back towards that B site, but they've drawn so many players towards A already, and they're actually losing a lot of lives because of it. They have that KO down onto the site, and there is no chance of recovering Leah now, since she's pretty much alone. And Zoe actually has rotated onto B as well, but Hypers has her back. They are already in mid, and the spike is going to go down for Solaire.
Yeah, that fake was sold perfectly, especially with Leah going down. I think that it was only when nobody came to really try and help her up that the game was up. And, you did see Zoe, like you mentioned, coming in, but Hyper Z holding down that mid control was pivotal for Slayer to really capitalize and get the spike down. In a 3v2 retake attempt right now, the Recon is immediately going to push Sango off the angle, tries to save their life, but Taro is going to be able to take the fight. Taro with 3 on the round, in fact, able to push this through for Solaire. And now they managed to push through and get an almost overwhelming lead here, 5-2 right now. And yet again, the economy for the side of Skill Issue is going to be reset. They do have the Tour de Force to work with, as well as the Hunter's Fury, as well as Jenna's Viper's Pit. But, these last two ults aren't exactly something that you want to commit in an eco round unless you do feel like you have a shot at winning it. I definitely don't think we're going to be seeing that Viper's Pit invested, but, the Tour de Force is available for the taking. And I think that might be huge coming into this particular round if they choose to invest it. It is going to be popped by Alpine towards this B site, but it seems like it towards elbow towards mid is going to be where this execute pressure is coming in from Solaire this time around. The Marshall though from Zoe is going to be positioned towards this angle. It is going to be the Joan invested to try and figure out where exactly these players are right now. Will spot out one player. The Joan not quite connecting the tag, and off the back of that, they are going to be heading into the site right now. Alpine missing the shot, is at least able to rendezvous out, so they are going to be holding on to the 4 remaining bullets of that Tour de Force. Aside from that, though, Solaire, they have control of the site as well as the spike, and they're just going to be able to get it down. It's a full 5-on-5 retake yet again.
Well, a 5-on-5 retake with superior weapons on the side of Solaire. A little bit dicey of a strange answer for Chai, but Sango is actually able to get in there with the hit onto the Viper. Pagey as well, singing with that Sheriff, but flashpoint from Leah eventually confirms the kill, and the Sky, last player standing, is not going to make much of a difference for Solaire, who continue to snowball into this attacking half.
Really, really unfortunate there for the side of Skill Issue. I think that if perhaps Alpine had been able to connect that shot from the Tour de Force, it might have changed the momentum and the pace of the round, considering how Solaire's hits have been extremely quick heading into this particular map here, especially after that first 2 rounds, which they've lost to Team Skill Issue. They've just been running it down and finding so much value off the back of that. This time around, it is going to be A, where the execute is focused. Hyper Z yet again leading the charge. Sango with that operator back online though. If they dry swing this, it's going to be extremely dangerous. The shoulder peek does come through though. The Joan as well managing to tag out Sango. Never mind, does not tag out Sango, because if they had the positioning from Chai would have enabled them to get that kill. Zoe trying to push forward, doesn't check their corners, unfortunately, and that is going to be Solaire yet again finding first blood. Chai, though, is looking to get a little bit over-eager here, pushes forward, but is going to be caught just as unaware as the player that they managed to take down. Meanwhile, on side, it is going to be Pagey finding picks as well. It's all down to just Hyper Z, and suddenly this round is completely falling apart for Solaire. Sango with 2 of their own to keep things together, and Skill Issue, they finally find a round.
And skill issue, that round was really off the back of Solaire's mistakes because they've played that hall position before, but this time it was Chai on their own, didn't really have anyone watching their back, and then they catch themselves out. I feel like they might have gotten a little bit lost inside of their own poison orb because it kind of looked like what was happening there when they got caught out by Alpine, but it's also the fact they stalled so long on the site without, I believe, hypers to either take a fight from doors to get them behind those pyramids, or without hypers on the site driving them in with the fast lane, then it's really difficult for them to make any progress unless they're finding their picks. But Skill Issue played very smart. They were playing behind the pyramids, they were playing very safe angles, and they were just waiting to isolate some fights so that Solaire can't trade them back. And then they weren't able to get the spike down, they weren't able to play post plant, and Skill Issue were able to bring that one home. And now I believe this is a tech pause. Yeah, it's a tech timeout. One of the players has DC'd.
Yeah, but luckily we are going to be having a very, very short pause and heading back right into this particular round. Both teams do have the economy for the buy. Sango managing to maintain control of that operator, just have that blade storm available as well if they want some additional firepower in their pocket. So this time around, the operator is going to be posted towards this B side instead, moving over towards the mid area. And this might be pivotal here because it seems like the Solaire players are rotating over towards B main instead, which yet again has been left completely open after all this pandemonium has been caused towards mid. With the Solaire players going for a possible B execute, though, it is interesting to note Alpine's position does push out forward, but that trademark is going to put a stop to any kind of aggression because Alpine is not sure that the push is coming in towards B. It might be towards mid instead. And right now, these players from Skill Issue are playing with absolutely zero information that Sova Jones didn't really spot anything out. However, Zoe, though, with the recon, might be finding incredible value here. Hyper Z, though, manages to push into the side here, will be able to get control, and off the back of that utility, Leah will find that first blood. To make things worse, it is also going to be the Vipers being invested. Taro on the alpha angle gets onto the elevation at the worst time possible as Beiji peeks into them, and that is going to bring things back down to a 4v4. The Hunter Sphere being invested by the defense as well to try and take this Viper spit down, but it's not going to be happening. The trades are very quick right now. Chai finding one of their own, Sango as well as Alpine left alone. Alpine on this flank in particular finding the Viper spit. That is huge right now, and this round is still viable for the side of Skill Issue as long as they can be fast about it, because right now there's no time. Leo with the third on the round, a crisp headshot to their name. It's all down to just Alpine gets the headshot on one, but Hyper Z is there for the trade, and Solaire finds 7. A beautiful round from Leah, who gets 3, but that execute, we have to talk about it, Tala. Just how much space Hyper Z is able to create with just one piece of utility, that wall, and how much damage is being done off the back of the rest of their kit. It's just so much being thrown at Skill Issue that unless they shut down Hyper Z, they're not able to find the round at all.
Yeah, but even then, when Hyper Z is alone, then it doesn't mean that they can find as much value either, because they're able to make hall pushes, not off the fast lane, but off the poison orb from Chai, and they're able to get those picks that because they're not paying attention, and the rest of the team is trying to dance around the rest of the team's util. And I think that this team is really relying on their utility combos and how they gel. But ooh, a huge hit taken by Sango just from his random spray through the smoke. Taro! Hacking! What was that? I mean, Sango is able to find 1 with the Blade Storm, though. That's already 2 numbers off the board for Solaire. But now it's all left up to a 4v3, and Hypers just takes out the overdrive, realizes that they gotta do something, and it's this. Hypers is going to win up against the Blade Storm. 4 HP on this Neon, but a 4k to close out this round. 8-3, and now going into the last round in the half. Solaire have a chance to take it to 9.
Yeah, Hyper is looking at the scoreboard, 17-4 right now. Insane. I want to see how many first lists this particular player has by the end of this matchup. But Solaire, it is going to be them leading the charge for Solaire right now and really pushing it forward. The last round in particular, I love how as soon as they got the pick, they were ready. They were banking on getting that kill, in fact, to pull out that overdrive. They should call it hyperdrive after Hypers at this point, honestly, looking at how much value they've been finding off that particular ult here. But heading into this A side, yet again, Solaire are going in for the execute. This time, Alpine is going to be playing this close angle, peeks out and is able to find that double headshot. Ronde rolling out as well, making that trade impossible. A beautiful shot coming in, has a tour de force as well. And right now, Solaire, they're being dismantled systematically on this particular site. It's just down to 2 players right now, the Sova as well as the Chamber. We've seen Tero pull out miracles, but it is going to be the barrel of the gun being spotted out by Alpine instead. And now they know where one of these players is. Gets the pick. Alpine on track for the ace. It's all down just need to here. At least they have control of the spike. That's going to be the one thing in their favor. But in this 1v5, I don't know what exactly they can really do.
Yeah, Habibi is just waiting for perhaps a potential flank, looking to save the gun or actually, there's no point in saving, is there? Since it is the last round in the half, but I feel like they might just not really know what to do. Alpine now coming in. Oh, unfortunately not able to get the pick, and they're going to surrender that ace, but Peiji is right behind, and Habibi does go down in the end, and they end that half 8-4 for skill issue. Now Solaire switching on to the defense. I feel like it's going to be a little bit less momentum for Solaire going into this next half since they lose that last round in the half, first of all, but second of all, their top fragger is Hypers, and I feel like Neon on the defense is such a struggle agent.
I agree with you there. It's very difficult for them to find value unless, of course, you are a team that likes to play aggressively. And considering the Asian comp that Solaire is running, they could very well attempt to do that. We did see an attempt coming in from Scalar Shoe in that first pistol round. You did see Alpine trying to push out with the help of that Sova drone. Not able to find the pick, but still, that aggression on Breeze is a trademark for agents like the Neon and the Chamber. And I think we might very well see Hypers doing something of that kind heading into this particular round. So for Solaire, though, they've managed to cement their lead. And remember, this is map number 2. They've already managed to take down map number 1. They have a decent lead heading into this one, and they are only 5 rounds away from taking the series 2-0. I think that they're going to be feeling pretty confident about their chances.
I definitely think that this is going to be... Ooh. I'm not really sure for this half because you also have that Jet that is going to be probably just as much impactful as Hypers, right? But now you see Hypers playing a little bit more aggressively, which I think is the only way you can play with the Neon. But now they're going to go for a fast execute onto the B site and just get that spike down. Solaire is just going to give completely.
It is going to be a full-on 5v5 retake. Where have we seen this before? It's definitely not been today. It's only been like 5 or 6 other rounds where these 5v5 retakes have become a thing. And for Solaire, they do have quite a bit of utility. The 0 point is going to be recharged and will be used towards mid to make sure that there's nobody lurking around. The push is coming in from all directions right now, and all these players are going to be stuck towards the backside. Tero fighting 2 with the classics them out. It's all down to just Peiji as well as Shenna, but they're not going to be able to find anything in Solaire. They get the pistol as well, really extending their lead 9-4 right now. When what a beautiful retake coming in from them. They attacked these players from Skillishow at every single direction, and Skillishow being trapped on site, all 5 of them, well, they just weren't able to hold on.
Yeah, this was a really important retake for them as well to try and get themselves to double digits. Now it looks like Skill Issue is contemplating going for a force rather than saving because they really don't want to let this map get away from them, and they want that little bit of a buffer. And definitely Solaire probably isn't going to expect this kind of force, and since you have 2 of the players still on those ghosts, you actually have a little bit of a gun disadvantage on the side of Solaire, even though they won that last round. Once again, it's aggressive from Hypers down into mid, trying to get that control, and it's the same kind of push going on to this B site. Songo now with the Stinger in their hands. Ooh, Alpine Stinger is going to be the one to secure the kill onto Chai, though. All of a sudden, you don't have that controller going into the next round, or going to the rest of the round. since you don't have the capability to block off these angles, you have to rely on Hypers, who is 28 HP. And now Habibi, with this Guardian, is able to find one more. But right now, it's just all red in the kill feed. Solaire, in a 2v4 retake situation, gets pinged. Taro has the back of Habibi and is able to find Zoe. But now it's all retake and playing for lineups. And Jenna, with the Marshal, is able to find one more. There's so much utility that Habibi has to contend with. Doesn't even know if they're out of range, but ooh, Pagey, nice shot onto that Sky. Unfortunately though, still a round win for Skill Issue despite the economy they lost.
Yeah, them being able to get the spike down in the previous round enabled them to force in, and they were able to really capitalize. It seemed like Solaire just weren't ready for the force spike coming in, because so far in all of these matches, Skill Issue haven't forced the issue, but now that they are that far behind, they really don't want to let Solaire get to double digits without putting up a fight, and they succeed. But they do end up losing some of their players. Who will just upgrade into Vandals for this particular round. Both Sango and Pagey will be having that upgraded buy heading into this particular one. As for Solaire though, it's going to be them with the Stingers this time around. Chai anchoring this A side, gonna be left alone though, so not really much to work with here. That Trailblazer not gonna spot them out, so at least that is something that went in their favor. The recon not really getting any information either. In the meantime, it is going to be Habiti fighting the first pick for Solaire with nothing but a Sheriff. That is huge right now.
Ooh, Chai with the Stinger. It's just the Stinger meta, full running, still headshots. But Jenna and Pagey just gonna take care of it. They're gonna trade those two right back. Taro now knows there's someone on the flank because of the Seekers, and now it's left up to Leah, who just did not expect that swing at all. Now 6-9, it's only a 3-round buffer in between. Solaire have yet to get a full buy-in, but this is their round now to have those guns on the board.
Yeah, looking at the ults available, Pagey did manage to pick up the Seekers from the plants as well as the frags that they got, so that was invested last round to close it out. They do manage to hold on to the 2 rifles which they bought, and in fact, on this defense, it is going to be, on this attack, it is going to be Alpine picking up the Operator to make things even more interesting right now. As for Solaire, it is going to be a little bit forced because there's no economy for a rifle for Hypers, but we've seen the Guardian be incredibly devastating, and I think that might be the same case here. Pagey pushing with the help of that flash, is not going to connect, but still gets the headshot. A beautiful first blood coming in for Skill Issue right there, and off the back of that, yet again, they have the B side for free. What is up with both of these teams just leaving it open? I guess when you have this amount of utility, you can't afford to really play on side. It becomes really difficult to anchor, and as a result of that, it is going to be Skill Issue finding it. This time around, they've learned their lesson. They're going to be playing for post plants across the map, not just on site, but also towards main as well as towards this window area. That's going to be Alpine taken down though. That's going to be no more Operator available right now. Pagey being spotted out as well, being wallbanged by Taro to death. It's all down to just these 3 remaining players from Skill Issue, of which 2 are so low here. The recon bolt is good. Gonna spot out Jenna. Hyper Z able to get that first pick. However, the clock is ticking right now. Abiti with the trade. It's all down to just Sango, but unfortunately not going to be able to find the pick, and Hyper Z, the last one standing, will get the defuse for Solaire 10-6.
Their gun round was still very, very close. I feel like the buy was very fractured on either side as well, just because of the fact that they have been forcing into the rifles basically every single round, and neither of these teams are going to be able to fully buy into the guns. And however, on the side of Solaire, they had Taro with the Tour de Force ready, but Alpine is still 3 points away. But really, the eco ultimate for Skill Issue is going to be that Blade Storm. If Sango can get a little bit of value with that upward mobility that Jet has, then they might be able to equalize the round a little bit more against this Operator. Sango going aggressive with the help of the Viper's wall through mid, just blocking off the nest angle, but Hypers immediately shuts down the Jet and finds a second onto Zoe, and now it's still the Tour de Force from the right side of the pyramids, but unfortunately Pitero is able to escape with the rendezvous and just back off. Spots the elbow of Alpine and just wall bangs right on through. 24 HP left over after a leg shot from that Marshall, but still pretty nicely done so far from Solaire. And now Taro is able to capitalize again on the tour de force. Chai already on the flank, 49 HP and a dream, but Chai is able to make sure that nothing comes of it.
Jenna has been hitting the most nuttiest shots on the Marshall today. Insane. But yeah, that round being lost is going to put a complete damper on the economy for Skill Issue, who are looking to force in, considering that the score is 6-11. They really don't want to let Solaire get to match point, but they might not have a choice here. Jenna does go in for the judge, and this might be huge because they do have that Viper's Pit online. The Hunter's really available as well for Zoe. 2 pivotal ults with which they can really play the post plan for the spike as long as they can get onto site. However, it seems like Solaire, they're not interested in giving the B side away for free this time around. It is going to be the Viper's Pit invested right off the bat by Chai towards B main here. Joan towards mid as well to spot out, clear out elbow as well as mid. It is going to be Sango who gets spotted out, and in the meantime, already look at Hypers on the lurk here. Alpine though, waiting in spawn. If Hypers is not careful, that might be a crucial pick going in favor of Skill Issue there. I like how Alpine waits to see if anybody else is coming before finally taking it down. The trade is quick though, as Taro is able to take out Sango, and just like that, things are gonna come back down to a 4v4 for the side of Skill Issue though. They're just slowly working on mid right now, trying to really get some more map control and options to go to. Abiti picking out towards mid, does spot a player. An awkward fight, but Alpine is gonna be the one to close it out, and it looks like they're gonna be booking it towards the A side instead.
Leah going to take the null command out though. Taro is just frying, shooting fish in a barrel from behind. Oh, that was what was happening while they were distracted with the KO, who was sitting right next to them with the with the null command and the flashes. Taro comes in from behind and just bop bop the entire team, and that's going to be what brings them to match point. Skill Issue, not enough money to buy rifles for everyone. Jenna at least has that judge and the Viper's Pit, so she can be playing inside of that ultimate, and the judge suddenly can find a lot more value. And the rest of the team, they do have some ultimates available as well. Solaire only having this overdrive, but that's not gonna matter. Hyper's going in, finding 2 already, and with the concussions is able to find some more. Leah swings out, and in a lightning round of a 13th point, Solaire is able to take it to 13 and win out 2-0.
I mean, we did expect this coming in. Solaire had a battle plan, and that plan was Hypers go kill. No, I'm kidding, but seriously, Hypers had so much impact in this particular game, not just being the top fragger, being able to consistently open up the site for Solaire on their attacking rounds, and on defense as well, being able to lead the charge on these retakes and find so much value with the help of the stuns, with the help of the backup from Leah as well. Both of these players going up so huge for Solaire. In fact, you can say this is a holy trinity this time around on this particular map. It was Leah, Hypers, as well as their chamber player. All 3 of them finding so much incredible value. Taro in particular with that operator. You saw that last pincer towards mid when it was going to match points. They managed to lock up 4 players off Team Skill Issue between them and close it out. And it is going to be Solaire moving on in this upper bracket 2-0, but Skill Issue, they put up a good fight, especially on map number 1.
Yeah, map number 1 I think was a little bit more dicey, but the fact that it was their own map pick and they unfortunately did lose really set them on the back foot. But obviously a huge congratulations to the Solaire squad for advancing to the top 8. And speaking of the top 8, that is going to be our next matchup on stream here. We don't know which teams are going to be playing just yet, but we are so excited to get to it. We will be right back with those games after a very quick break.
I just wanna be happy. Count to 10. and we'll be where we wanna. When you're next to me, I can't pretend. You've got me feeling like you're where I wanna be, wanna be. Please don't let me go, I need you right here by my side. So won't you run away with me tonight?